It's true.
They've got a new Assassin's Creed game coming out this year. Me and you went to Ubisoft and we played it.
In Quebec City.
Scenic Quebec City.
Yes.
This is Cassandra.
Yep.
She's one of 2 protagonist options.
It's true. So both of us got to play, and I think in this video you've assembled kind of a back and forth showing the decisions and how we did and all that good stuff. Correct?
Symbolic of our fun back and forth conversations.
Exactly. So,
Whoa!
What the heck? Look at that.
That storm was more than
That's
Editing.
Alexios.
That's Alexios. I played as Alexios. You played as Cassandra.
It's
and
true.
we've got lots of footage of both of those playthroughs that we're going to be jumping back and forth between, because there's a lot more choice in this one. You're making a lot of decisions that make the outcome of the story completely different.
I hope that it's not as jarring as that. That was, you really broke my brain.
No, that's the only remotely cool transition.
Okay, cool.
Don't worry. So I think fun shorthand is Alexios versus Corksandra.
Okay, I love it.
Yeah.
It really works well.
Great. So we're getting introduced to this story that's happening on these 2 islands we got to play on.
Right.
It's it's almost episodic, the way that this story is told. It's contained. We've got the ending at the end of this video, you know. We're making decisions and meeting characters along the way that all have a payoff.
Right. So this is all, like you said, it's all discrete to these 2 islands. You got Delos and Mykonos.
Sure.
I believe that's how you say it. I don't know. Look, I'm not Greek, okay?
Hey, it's all Greek to me.
All right. So we've got these 2 guys here. Oh, dear.
That's
As you'll
Kira.
see, Kira summoned us.
Mm-hmm.
I want to jump ahead of ourselves here, but...
No spoilers.
You are Athena herself.
But for spoiler purposes, we should say this is not anything that's core to the main story.
Correct.
You kind of get a tease of what's actually going on in the overarching story at the end. But this is all about joining a rebellion to help out. Now, Cork, you played as a mean guy.
Yep, that was my mandate. Be a mean guy.
I tried to play as a nice guy.
It wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be, because I like to be a nice guy.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
And killing us without mercy.
So we've got a few different decisions at different points, and we'll see what happens differently.
Okay.
For instance, I just give the standard "I'm not a spy" response. To which, in this case, she just says the exact same thing.
All right.
There's lots of times where it does turn out completely differently,
Yeah.
but that was not one of them.
So it's a branching path in the same way that a pine tree without any limbs.
Exactly.
I don't know what that means.
No, it's a great metaphor.
Thank you.
Now we're being introduced to Podarkes. He's kind of the villain of this arc.
Yes.
He's a mean guy who likes to kill people is kind of the impression that I got.
Baddest of the bad, I believe.
Sure. I believe it. So the overarching goal here is to kill him and defeat Athens in kind of a big battle at the end.
Right. You are Spartan, and in this, apparently you will be able to make decisions yourself at some points of the game, which side you align with. This is all Sparta all the time, though.
That's exactly right for this arc. So yeah, we were planning to kind of go different paths, but we couldn't in this chunk of the game that we played.
Exactly. And this is they said about halfway through the game?
Yeah.
I believe somewhere in there, we're playing as a level 18 character at the beginning. During the course of the journey, I know that I leveled up several times.
Yes, I did as well.
I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you.
Clap for us just like that.
Athenians give speeches.
Both characters do the slow clap. Let's try that. Romance options.
See, I was being a bad guy, so I said no romance. Bad guys are not into romance.
That's right, but even your iron heart may have been swayed a little bit later on.
Possibly.
Just a little tease.
Mine isn't.
So Thelatus is another one of the main characters of this chunk.
And Thelatus and Kira are kind of romantically entangled.
That's exactly
And I
right.
have faced greater challenges than
But
the
your character
Athenian
doesn't care.
ships.
You fight like
No.
Or maybe they do, depending on how you play.
But
Exactly.
even you couldn't defeat the entire navy.
But if I sink enough
And believe it or not,
ships, the
this is a
Spartans can
game,
get
too.
through.
This isn't just a thing that you watch cutscenes.
Yeah.
So hopefully we see some gameplay in this.
I'll sink the ships.
He's just giving you quests for now to sink the ships and to grab his helmet.
Right.
And you can actually ask questions about the
You've
missions
been
now.
here long enough.
Get more details, like a
How
real
many ships
RPG.
protect the loop?
Just like a grown-up real RPG.
We
Yeah.
just need to punch a hole in
And
the
we're going to show
controls.
gameplay in a second here.
Scrambling.
But it's important that we set up these quests because it kind of has an interesting payoff in a few minutes.
So there you had an option to lie, but because you're being good guy Leo. See, and you found the helmet. It was
Yes,
underwater.
exactly.
You could have chosen to keep the helmet. if
That's
you wanted
right.
To as well.
Yeah, it's a real item. But, yeah, that was just a way it paid off a little bit differently. The conversation was because I already had that helmet. from just swimming around exploring a wreck.
So you found it ahead of time, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Now you're going on his mission to destroy Athenian ships. I didn't do this mission.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you'll see that I completely forgot how to play the naval stuff. There's a lot of warning shots that I fire out of just general courtesy.
Yeah. We're over here.
Yep.
You know, that kind of stuff.
Exactly. So,
You're ramming. Boarding is back.
well, Ubisoft
which
at
we'll
the
show
beginning, they
later.
made the mistake of saying you can ram through another ship. So I thought, that's all I want to do actually now.
Yeah.
So it's the same basic stuff as that you saw in Black Flag. It was introduced, and then to a lesser degree, you had some of the naval combat with Aya's adventure stuff. Pardon me.
Yeah.
With, Origins as well.
Right.
But here it's blown out more a la Black Flag in that it's full naval, open world. That's how you get around. So
Yep.
you're going to spend a lot of time on the boat. That's a big component.
Yep, fast traveling back to the boat to get around,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. And plus, there's a little bounty board on your boat where you can get more pirate missions to destroy ships and stuff. So you could initiate boarding there
Yes.
after you get the ship down to a certain
And this,
level.
at least at this point in the game, well, there's really not much to board there.
Yeah.
It fell into the water. At this point in the game, I couldn't tell what the advantage of boarding was. It seemed like you wouldn't have to dive underwater to get the treasure chest.
Yeah, I didn't know that you could dive under after to get
Yes.
the treasure chest, because I did it because you have to kill them before you can just loot the treasure chests
Right.
on board. I'm also trying to play stealthy. That's another thing we did differently.
Ah.
So you were trying to do ranged. I was trying to do completely stealth. You ended up going stealthy a lot too, obviously.
Right, I guess, yeah.
But in that instance, I got spotted from below while I was up above.
Yes, they noticed all the arrows that were coming from above.
Right, they're cheating.
They looked up.
So I'm getting into this skirmish here, but actually the people down there, like in the other part of this same outpost, don't really notice. So you can kind of maintain stealth.
Right.
Maybe more than you might expect.
So if you look in the bottom left corner, you can kind of see it's almost like the equivalent of, I think someone made the analogy of like Diablo 3 style. You pick and assign skills, and there's like a cooldown. Like for instance, you've got the ability on the button there. What does that do for you? Is that a heal?
On the left?
Yes.
Yes, that is a heal.
Okay.
You have to get some hits in to earn that adrenaline. Which
Okay.
you can see that bar at the very bottom.
Yes.
And once you have it, you can just spend some to heal like that.
That's
But yeah,
interesting.
you can replace it with a ton of other things.
Yeah, because I never used that when I played. I didn't use the healing thing at all.
Yeah, we did made a few different choices with the skill. I got a smoke bomb later. That was under the like assassin path.
Yeah.
Skill path.
So
That's
it's-
the Sparta kick, which is very good.
So it's a little different. In the past, you had like a pouch that had healing potions and smoke bombs, but now here it's an ability that you assign to a button, and it's on a cooldown.
Right, rather than actually collecting smoke bombs.
Exactly.
Which, thing of the past. Over it.
Right. Speaking of past, this game takes place in 431 BC.
Yeah?
There you go. Making it the farthest back the series has gone.
Really?
You can really tell.
When was Origins?
Origins,
If you're so smart.
Origins, I believe, was 20 something BC. I think that's what it was. So,
One example of how far back we are, there's no hidden blade yet.
right.
They're using that artifact, the dagger.
The Spear of Leonidas.
Yes, it's a fractured spear, and they describe it as an artifact a la the Apple of Eden. even.
Right.
They compared it to that when we talked to them.
However, at this point in the game, it is nowhere near as powerful. Like it seemed like it was just a kind of a way to jam it into people's faces when you got up close.
Right, but you can level it up.
Right. But in the build we were at, we were not able to do that. So,
So once again, Cork is going ranged here.
uh-huh.
And also, hey, check this out. You completed that ship quest, so
Yeah.
you talked to Thelatus, you got another quest. Look in the upper left. You got the quest to deal with Athenian commanders.
Yes.
I never got that.
Oh, interesting.
So when I was doing this outpost, I was just doing it for damn fun.
Yeah. I don't know what I think I was talking to someone at this point. I like to think. Otherwise,
Well, you're just being
really
careful,
drawing
aren't
it
you?
out. Yeah.
Yeah, this is what Robin Hood
Ouch, he
would
says.
do.
And
Yeah.
then a post-warning shot after hitting him.
But that's an example of the way that this game is kind of changing it up. Is, you know, when I beat this set of islands and I never got that mission, I just never do that. I
Yeah.
can never go back and get that mission.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it's much more about like having completely different playthroughs from person to person, which I think is interesting. And the main payoff of doing these quests is obviously you get way more XP than I do because you're completing quests, and that's the biggest XP payoff in the game. Same as Origins, I think.
Now, here you'll notice also that I don't have a shield, so I don't even know if I'm attempting to block here. I think I was still getting my...
The blocking I found finicky. It was hard
Yeah.
to tell exactly when you would do it, even though you're supposed to time parries and stuff.
Yeah, I did a really lousy job there. But also at this point, I did not invest in you can get like a shield break move.
Yes.
Which is a real game changer because you'll notice that so many guys have shields, and being able to and like render them irrelevant is a huge help.
Yeah, without having. Otherwise, you can do like a strong attack to kind of knock them, but it's a lot more dependable to be able to fire off that cooldown ability and just get it out of the picture immediately. Just throw it into the distance. We'll see it later.
So you see, as we're doing things here, it's kind of reducing the nation power, which I don't know what the difference between 1 and 3 bars is. Ultimately, I waited until it was all the way depleted before I finally took out Podarkis.
Me too. Yeah, I think it does have to do with how many guards he has on him in his final castle. You shot a jar there.
Okay, good.
Smart gameplay.
Yeah, I like sending people on fire.
Yeah, same as Origins. They kind of don't really react to it until they're dead.
It's just kind of how life was back then.
Yeah, on fire again. I
My
see.
father was a guy on fire, his father, and now I'm a guy on fire.
I noticed you shot that guy with an arrow to the knee. Was that intentional?
It might have been
Reference?
just a kind of a cool meme, I think.
Yeah, did you look back at the Ubisoft person? Can I give him a nod?
Yeah,
yeah,
they knew what was up, even though they didn't acknowledge it in any way. They get it.
They probably laugh later.
You weren't the first.
So now I'm trying to put the sweets on Kira a little bit.
Oh, interesting.
Billions are
For some reason, as the good guy who was trying to do the nice playthrough, I thought it would be good to romance someone who had a boyfriend.
Especially because you've got a boat and your job is to leave as soon as you're done with this mission. So it does seem like a
Exactly.
good way to...
And also, I am, trying to do something about my family. My family's in jeopardy, but I didn't know that at the time, so maybe I would have
Well, we
had a
don't
little
know.
more haste.
Do we know that family is a wife and child, or is it like your parents and uncle?
Fair point. Yeah, my cousins are in danger.
Exactly.
That could be what
It's
happened.
never really close to him, but...
They are my family now.
All right, so...
So here
And
comes
one day,
a romance
I
option
will
in a minute.
fire an arrow into
But
his
that stuff
black
is,
heart.
you have full paths, and
For
we all
every
kind of,
billion
had dinner
family is
afterwards. We talked with the other people who were
Mm-hmm.
playing. A lot of people had completely different experiences. Not a lot of people were able to woo Kira.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you able to?
Hey, we'll see.
Uh-oh.
Hey, cover your kids' eyes for the next 40 minutes to be safe.
Because a lot of people get set on fire.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Uh-oh.
I'll go to Delos. Find
So
their
that's
stockpiles
accepting a
and
mission
destroy
to
them.
burn their supplies, which we'll see in a minute.
Right.
And that's one of the ways you're lowering the nation power. And here's you getting a little...
I'm being boastful.
Yeah, exactly. And she doesn't respond to that well.
Also, it's nighttime.
Also, it's nighttime. Yeah, we could have said that about the last outpost, is that you went in at nighttime and thus you killed that guy while he was sleeping. Mm-hmm. Cool dynamic stuff like that. They're really blowing that out. Uh-oh.
So here I decided, maybe I do want to romance Kira.
Melt my cold heart.
Sneaky Mystios, Athenian wine.
When all this is said and done, I thought we might share some.
Ooh la la.
You surprise me, and to think I nearly threw my blade through your neck.
No one's perfect. So what will you do once Podarkis is dead and the rebellion is won?
The sad truth is,
You're
I
probably
have no
distracted
idea.
by
For as long as I can remember,
Cassandra's
every day has been a staggering
ripped abs
gift to
on her
me.
armor. So much like
Presence has
Origins,
all
you
but
pick up a lot of
consumed me.
armor sets and everything, and
what
and there
will
are sets, so
Cassandra
you
do
do
once
get
this is
bonuses if you
over?
do have all the pieces of them, and it does change the way they look.
Yeah, I thought that was cool, is that these two islands, across all of them, across a bunch of different activities, you could collect a complete set of armor that would give you a set bonus.
Yep.
So if you go to this island and complete it completely, you walk away with
And
some
what
special,
exactly do we
cool-looking
have
armor.
in common?
You can also choose to hide or show your helmet
Yes.
in the options.
Yep.
I think we show
I've
them
seen
later.
you with a blade.
It'll be interesting
You
to see,
have a
does
skill that
Alexios have a
could only
beard?
come from the
He does have some
pleasures
stubble.
of
Can you turn it on or off?
Podarkis
Kind of like
and his
Bayek?
troops forced
Yeah.
me to battle.
These are all
I
important
did not
questions.
Can you do that
pleasure in it.
with Cassandra, too?
My
Can you
names
grow a
are
beard as
these
Cassandra?
Mystios.
Or else it's not dynamic.
And we got going.
It's true.
When Podarkis learns of what happened on Delos, he'll want revenge.
And the first to suffer will be the Dilians.
Here.
So that didn't
Oh,
go
there's your
over.
helmet.
Yeah, I turned it on. It looks real nice.
Now here's me getting a little side quest here.
Mm-hmm.
One of the optional things. What's interesting, this is probably a good time to talk about it.
Yeah.
Is that if you complete this quest, she's one of the people that you can end up recruiting. You
Yeah.
can have like lieutenants on your ship
Exactly.
that you'll see and that will fight with you, and I believe have levels and skills and everything.
Yeah, they have like passive upgrades that they bring to your ship also, like increasing the number of arrows you'll shoot per volley and kind of increasing your stamina pool so you can ram and like use your little speed burst longer. So, yeah, there's kind of it's interesting because I maybe took a different path, and when I finished this mission, it ended. She may have died because I attacked and fought her.
Oh!
And so she did not join my crew.
Oh, I see. Well, we'll check back in with that quest later.
All right.
But for now, you are here
That dog's
to burn
just chilling.
supplies.
That dog's actually dead, by the way.
Yeah. I didn't want to show you brutally killing that dog.
So, I would like to apologize.
That guy spotted you.
Yes.
He knows you're there.
Oh, I tried to use my Sparta kick and just whiffed it, which... There you go. I think I was on a real tear with that kick, so I just maybe over-relied on it a bit.
It's really fun.
There you
and
go.
I think
And there's the yank the shield away now.
right, now he's open for a kick.
Yeah, he's gonna kick his brains out.
The kick is very fun.
Yes.
It is. It shoots people out like they're getting sucked out of a plane, and it is a non-lethal attack.
Yes.
So you may see later, or maybe you saw it already, when you have the option to assassinate people, you also have the option to knock them out.
Yes.
So there's more non-lethal options, including arrow types that are paralyzing, and that's because when you knock people out, you can recruit them for your ship, which almost feels like a Metal Gear Solid 5 type of thing. But we didn't have access to that in this build, which is what they were telling us about.
Yeah, I just got to see them writhe around on the ground.
Yeah, which is more satisfying anyway. Sort of pays off.
Yeah.
Now
So
you're
did the
going stealthy.
Did combat play out like you were able to watch footage from both of ours? Did you see a lot of things that surprised you, or was I doing pretty much the same thing that you were?
Besides the abilities,
Uh-huh.
you were doing pretty much the same thing. I think you tried a few different weapon types,
Uh-huh.
but it's largely the same. And that's largely seems to be, the doubling down on Origins. That's a great kick.
Thank you.
Doubling down on Origins focus on the action combat. It feels more like, The Witcher, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where you can stealthily pick some people off, you can shoot them, you can sneak in and get a couple people, but you largely end up doing these action battles and using your abilities, which is
Yeah.
good because it's a lot more fun to do now that the abilities are in play.
Now you'll notice, like, I have a tendency not to use the lock-on, and it actually handles itself pretty well. Like, you don't have to do that. There's enough of a magnetic pull on its own, at least on the version that we were playing.
Right, for sure. But for dodging, it definitely helps.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Here, I'm trying to take on the bear with my fists.
This was that side mission where you were talking to that lady with the one eye.
Yeah,
she was wounded by this bear. So you're trying to take it out with your fists.
Yes, and you can Spartan kick it, and it just goes sliding across the sand, which is very fun. But it ended up being a very long fight.
Yes.
Not just because I was using my fists. I ended up fighting it with my sword, and it still is just a lot of dodging, a lot of fighting, like one of those boss battles people like.
Like one of those boss battles people like.
Right. And also
Well,
there
look
was
at
a
the
thing where...
sun is setting. It's taking so long.
Yeah,
Good grief.
a lot of dodging. And I ended up equipping that heal thing, which I didn't have, but I put
Yeah.
that back on because it helps with a fight like this.
Jesus, look at that. You've taken like 1/16 of his health.
Also, the problem is whenever you wander out of the... there we go. You wander out of the fight area, you can see him kind of glow green, and he recharges some of his health over time. So you can't just fight him, run off, and then come back in. You've got to stay in the fight.
Did you see that? Now, this is an interesting thing. Apparently, they're on the fence about it, but that loading screen, it doesn't give you the running around in the void that every Assassin's Creed game has had so far.
Yes, they were torn on that, and we made our voices heard about wanting it, I believe.
All right, so here I'm kind of doing some tomb exploration with a torch that there was a little bit of a visual bug, but there should be fire coming out of it.
That's what I say about most torches.
Yep. And you got the snakes here, and it lets you do a thing that I believe was patched out of Origin, where you've got unlimited torches, so you can just keep summoning and throwing torches to kill the snakes instead of using your arrows, which I think I had a tendency to lean on that one pretty heavy too.
It's the best strategy.
It really is.
If you're min-maxing.
Yeah.
But you can also use those torches as distractions.
Ah, yes.
Which I don't know if you could do that in Origins. You probably could, but I never knew about it. But they told me that. Because you can whistle to lure, and I was wondering if there are any other, like, throwing rocks or whatever. They said you can just spawn a torch and throw it. That's generally what you're supposed to do. Which works really well. But you're being very careful.
I'm being very careful because I heard another snake, I think.
Oh, goodness.
I'm going to use all these torches, I think. I'm going to see how many I can have in the world at a time.
Yeah.
And it's the same as it is in Origins, where you basically have unlimited inventory space, which is handy because there's a lot of really good stuff, like this Hades bow that I just picked up. If you like to set people on fire, this is the weapon for you, because basically that's what it does. Its arrows are always on fire. So,
and it's got a cool, unique look to it too. So it was a legendary item.
Yeah,
and I believe that it's very similar to how Origins worked, except it also has levels. Not just a power number. It's got levels, and then it's got the DPS. And it also increases your damage. You can see on the bottom of that screen that there was like hunter damage, warrior damage, and assassin's damage. And that had to do with the different moves you can do with those different skills.
Yeah.
It'll be like, this kick does 150% warrior damage. And you're increasing that throughout different weapons. They have stats that increase it by percentage.
Yeah.
Which there's some depths there. It seems really cool.
And then also, the system was not in place in this demo, but also you can engrave items to further customize them.
Right.
So that's a system we didn't really get a chance to explore. But yeah, it does look like you'll be able to kind of tailor things to the way that you like to play and to make abilities more advantageous if you want. So.
And I tried to, for instance, I tried to focus on assassin damage. Lots of them were increasing my assassin's damage by a single %, which I believe impacts just assassinations. How full that bar is, how much of their health you're getting with the assassination.
Right. I did not do that, and I had the thing that kind of popped up in Origins where I would go for an assassination, and it just seemed like I annoyed the person more than anything else.
Yeah.
And they kind of shrugged me off of them and start fighting. You're like, oh, this is embarrassing for everyone.
Right. Yeah, I think in general there's maybe, I would say, even less of a stealth focus than Origins. They're kind of moving away from that more, which is fine. There's no reason it has to be a stealth game forever. It's now that it's going the more action RPG route. But they did talk about how it's possible to focus on being an assassin and mainly stealth your way through pretty much everything in the game and do those single-hit assassinations if you've got the right gear for it. But in the context of this specific demo, I had a lot of trouble, and we'll get into it later.
All right. So, I was still on the Sparta kick. So, apologies. So this is a prisoner. I met up with Socrates, and he said that this guy was kind of an ethical dilemma. Like, this guy killed some guards, but he was also a rebel, so is it ethical to let him go? They're going to take him away and execute him. So I kicked him, so he should be standing up and talking still. But and since he can't follow me, I think I ended up having to
carry him.
Yeah.
Which, hey, dynamic gameplay.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the Jeff Cork difference right here.
Yeah.
I will pick you up and take you to your destination if necessary. So this is an interesting character in that you free him, and once you talk to him here...
Have a very
he's okay.
mouth. You could have gotten us both killed.
Then our sacrifice would set fire to the heart of the rebels. They'll cast every non-Delian into the sea for Poseidon to chew up and spit out.
You realize I'm not Delian. The Spartans who fought and died for the rebellion are also not Delian.
Athenians want these islands for our wealth. The Spartans want these islands for Sparta. I won't let them have it. We don't need them. We don't want them. Delians should rule Delos.
So the moral question here is if you're going to let this guy live.
Right.
Because presumably he's going to go do some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
May hurt some people along the way. But this game seems very... Court, tell me if this is fair to say. This game seems interested in exploring moral gray areas.
Oh my goodness.
Certainly with talking to Socrates later on, and just with the fact I played good, you played bad, that doesn't mean I had the good outcome and you had the bad outcome.
No.
It's definitely more nuanced with that, and almost hard to predict how things are going to play out, which makes it a more interesting story. And with the choices, you really feel like you're involved with it, which I think is a great change for the series. I've never been that into the specific stories that are happening along the way.
Right. I don't know if you're going to show it here in the video, but depending on if you choose to let the prisoner go or not, it does affect the ending. Does it affect your ending?
No. Which I think, certain people, if we can just say, letting him go ended up with Kira and Thaletus both dead.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen for me because of other things we'll see in the ending. But that's an example of just how crazy different they can be. And maybe it's safer for them to make those crazy, bold decisions with the stories when they're local and episodic, kind of the way that at least this one's being told.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how much the actual main story can be influenced by this.
When you say episodic, you're not saying like this is coming out like on a schedule or anything like that. It's just that these two islands, they kind of have their own discrete storyline that is being told just there.
Exactly. And Socrates is talking about this kind of moral, philosophical question, and then you lied to him him about what you did, which kind of muddies the waters a little bit. Maybe with what he's trying to say, kind of the message a little less clear.
He seems to have bought it, though, which I think is ultimately the point.
Right.
It's a pleasure, Socrates. I can always count on you to give me a devastating headache.
So I'm unsure if Socrates is only on this island. You'd think they would want to do more with him.
Yeah.
Such a big figure of Greek
Don't hold your breath.
culture. But we'll see.
Yeah. And also, they spelled it with a K, which is going to be the source of so many headaches in writing about this game.
Yeah.
So you do have a bird, also.
Yes! Here I am using the bird.
And it's Icarus.
Icarus.
Yes.
The Senu of ancient Greece.
Exactly.
This is just a small tavern I'm trying to loot, which ended up being a little bit more morally dubious than I thought.
Oh, okay.
Because it looked like just a regular kind of outpost, you know. It says 2 treasures to complete this area.
Right.
I knocked that guy out, which I love knocking people out.
Yeah, you're a big fan of just the knockout.
Yeah, just a little more everybody can have fun, you
Yeah.
know? I'm not ending a man's life. I'm just giving him a
Oh.
Charlie horse. But, so you can see these loot options are in red,
Yes.
and it says steal. And I
Yes.
try to be good, but I just stole that because I didn't realize what I was doing.
Yeah. Yeah, you can go to temple. Like, one of the pieces of loot you can find is a helmet that lets you breathe underwater permanently, which that's something that you'll want, but
Yeah.
do you want to steal or not? And depending on what you do, you'll kind of raise the alarm and the attention of, you see that little meter at the bottom right,
Yes.
as it fills each little segment of the Spartan helmet, then mercenaries will come to you and attack you and everything.
Right, and this is when I talked to them about it for a good while, because it's an interesting change to the system for me. But what they said is that it's mainly about the bounty system, less about moral impact,
Yeah.
the stealing. It's more about whether you're ready to get mercenaries sent after you versus people are going to treat me differently because I'm stealing from innocent people.
So here I've gotten this ability that kind of lets me set my weapon on fire,
Yeah.
and it became my favorite thing. Even though the people may not react as excitedly about being set on fire as I would hope.
It's still a very good impact to have
Yeah,
on
absolutely.
a fight. Do some lasting damage.
Yeah.
Over time.
Damage over time.
Yeah.
It's not an area of effect kind of thing.
No.
Saletas? What are you and your men doing out in the open?
So now you're turning in the latest quest that I didn't get, so I didn't see any of this.
Yeah, you really missed out.
Which I don't know exactly what decisions we made impacted the ending, but you're definitely closer with the latest than I ever was.
Yeah.
And you definitely see that towards the end of the run.
I believe it. Maybe it's here or earlier, and you just didn't show it. I tried to have a threesome, and that didn't work.
Yes, that's coming up.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I made sure to include that.
Oh, yeah.
And then I zoom in on your face and I do a wah-wah. So
Yeah, here we
mention
go.
that.
Careful. You never know what I'll ask for.
Uh-oh.
Try me.
For instance, a threesome. Yeah, 3 great options.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows, if you had just been aimed a little lower, you could have had him tonight.
Yeah, I shot for the
I
moon.
would ask for Kira.
Kira.
I thought.
I want you both,
Video games have
Saletas.
completely mastered
I know the way you two
one-on-one
feel about
relationships
each other,
and cutscenes, so let's
Yeah.
see 3 people rubbing their weird puppet faces together.
Maybe we should
See what
focus
Fox
on
News has to say about that.
Spartans.
So he's not down.
War and no play.
Nope. So I guess I'll just drink that entire
You're a
jug of
fine
wine by
warrior.
myself.
You've done much for the rebellion and Sparta, but I sailed.
So the
to
2
these
characters
islands
seem to have
for
all the
Kira.
same options.
You
And I
have
think it
honor,
doesn't
Saletas.
matter as far as romance
Don't know
options.
what you're missing,
No, I think you can just
but you
do
have
whatever you want. You're
Yeah.
not shutting yourself out one way or the other by playing as Alexios or Cassandra.
Right, which is just a decision you make at the start of the game. And you asked, I believe, if both characters exist in the world, whether you choose one or the other, and they were a little dodgy about that.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see what happens there.
Now, here's a mission we both did. I think we only show me, though,
Yeah, because it's really good.
because it's so good. Acquiring the wooden doll. This is a path we were sent on by this mysterious stranger, kind of a side quest that loops into what's happening with Kira. And we need to get proof that she's actually related to old Podarkes.
Yeah,
The big bat.
Interestingly enough, well, this might not be interesting. I did this mission after I killed Podarkes.
That's cool. Yeah, see, that's definitely an instance of how dynamic it is and how much you can change it. For instance, I felt a little underleveled for this encounter, so I kind of don't fight too much. I just, quote-unquote, sneak in. I'm crouching, so it looks like I'm sneaking. and I just get out of there, and that's totally a
What a
valid way to
heist.
complete that mission. which I thought was fun.
Ocean's 1.
Ocean 1. A ocean.
Ta-da!
Yeah. And so now we gotta go tell Kira about it.
Where's Kira? She's...
Miss me already, Miss Dios?
She deserves to know the truth, Cork.
Kira, there's something I need to tell you.
That look on your face, so serious. Sit, relax, drink some wine.
Kira. So I decided I should tell her in private.
What I'm about to say...
Oh, yeah.
And then we'll see you deciding to tell her in front of everybody.
Yeah. It's a significantly different experience, I would assume.
I believe
That
so.
little junkie guy. Yeesh.
Get him
Now
outta
that you
here.
have me all alone, what is it you want to tell me?
There is no other way to say this. Podarkis is your father.
What sort of joke is this?
Just joking.
This isn't a joke.
I took you aside to tell you a funny joke.
She thought it was very funny, by the way.
Yeah.
I'll kill you where you stand.
I've never gotten a laugh that big.
This can't be.
Kira, I'm sorry.
And this is totally missable. You know, that was
Yeah.
a side mission
Yep.
that you get from talking to somebody random in the
Took
city.
everything from me. How did you find this?
I crouched and ran.
I found your old house.
Kind of threw a torch to distract them, but it didn't really work.
I can still hear her screams.
And that was me being a good,
storm
honest
blew
boy
armor
about
Yes.
where I found it.
Because
Because I tried to do, I mean,
had to run through
this game's about moral gray areas maybe, but I was like,
I never
good people
returned
always
to
tell
that
the
place.
truth.
Yeah.
It was
That was
best
kind of
you
the
did
way I went in, which is not always the best
It's good
option,
you told
as
me
we'll
that.
see.
The men don't need to know this, not yet. But please, leave me for a while. I need to be alone.
That's one way this can play out. Now here's the cool way to play it out. Coming in a second.
Yeah.